guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Lone Wolf Challenge. In the last episode, after one of our baby's markings were stolen by Takir, Takir sent us a brand new wanderer to make up for it. Little Rohan clearly has some sort of connection with the pattern painter. Not only does he have some pretty similar patterns on him, but he's also carrying one of those no-paws. Takir used his no-paw back in his day to do most of his work, so I'd imagine that Rohan is probably going to be the same. In fact, it almost seems like Takir's little bunny friends are whispering to him right now. Maybe they could actually lead him towards some better paints to use. He also has the fishing tail, and one of you mentioned that this would be the perfect thing to use as another form of paintbrush. Looking at it, it definitely seems like it could do the trick, so Rohan is going to be a wonderful addition to this tribe. But before we start moving him after the bunnies, I did want to go back to our wild mushroom. She and Aqualoo have discovered a healing fruit, but I also noticed that they discovered something a little bit more sinister. It seems as if the healing fruit is being guarded by one of the old tribes, perhaps. We figured that they probably left for the jungle, but it seems like little lingering remnants are surviving still, and he is definitely not friendly. I'd imagine that he would probably try to chase away Adrian and Aqualoo, so let's bring them back to their previous area. It's going to be pretty hard for them to make their way through all of this darkness, since it is so hard for them to see. But they can follow the sounds of the guardian moles and try to find a place to hide from the rogue male. It doesn't seem like he caught their scent, and as long as he isn't following us straight up the shore, he shouldn't be able to cross the water to get to our tribe mates, so I think they're going to be safe. That being said, they're going to have to find a new route to get to that tree. This was going to be their next mission, to see if they could build a home there. So maybe on the next turn, we'll see if these two are brave enough to start crossing this water. I think they should be safe. It doesn't look like the currents are too strong. Usually when we cross these big bodies of water that look to be little ponds, they're safe to stay in there without drowning. It's only when there are waterfalls involved that it becomes hard for them to keep their head above the waves. I wonder if Takir's little bunny guides are even trying to lead these two tribes together? Maybe that's what all of that whispering is about. So while Rohan is going to struggle a little bit with his short-sighted eyes too, and he could probably use somebody to go with him, maybe it'll actually end up being the newest little baby Kovu, but of course he's going to have to grow his second gem first. So for now, just start making your way into the grasses for us, and we'll see how far you can get. Oh, look at how many bunnies we have out here. Yeah, they're clearly trying to lead you towards something, so let's see if we can follow them straight over to the water, and that should make it easier for us to guide Aqualoo back home. She's getting so close to the end of her lifespan too, and it would be nice for her to have at least one baby before she passes. She does have the cracker jaw and her inactive traits, and despite that poor eyesight, she might be a good creature for us to breed with Rohan. So we'll see if those two can meet before she does end up getting too old. And speaking of which, this is also going to be Odin's very final day. So that means if we want to keep the eyesight in our tribe strong, we're going to have little Navi scoot her way out of the nest and bring Ramiko over here, so she should be able to breed with him again. Thankfully that time the fertility wasn't too much of an issue, so I guess it was meant to be. Just one more baby for the bubblegum brood. And I'm sure that Odin will be very proud to watch his family grow. So let's have him go ahead and pick up some of these berries for one final time. And then I suppose you might as well just clear out some of the grasses. Maybe one last offering to Takir. Just a little something to entice him to give your babies some of those special markings. We're still actually waiting to see what pattern shade B is going to look like with the dots, so maybe today will finally be the day. Oh, and hair. Is that the third bunny that you've caught? Well, with all of that bunny meat in your pocket, I'm sure you are as eager as ever to go see your little brother again. To see your little brother and prove him wrong. Kaz is just about to go over here for the healing fruit anyway. It's kind of fitting that the healing fruit grew back just as his mother passed. Almost as if it's a little gift to him for all the fussing that she used to do. So before he can add Kovu to his mural on the rock, we'll bring him over to the healing fruit to heal off some of that damage. There we go. Every last little bit of it is gone now. So he could go back to collecting his poison berries. He certainly has enough of these poison bushes, even one right next to the rock that he's painting his mural on. So maybe we'll have him tiptoe over there to grab up some more of that special paint soon. Let's have Hare stumble his way out of the darkness though. Maybe on the next turn these two can meet up again. We still do have a couple of bunnies racing on the shores, but the great hero believes that his task is done. If only he could defend Litsy's berry bush, because I think every last one of those berries have been swiped. Oh no, Litsy. Maybe you should have tried to gather them up a little bit faster. It looks like she doesn't have any roots to dig up either. Well, there's one more over here, so we'll bring you over to the shore to dig this one up for us. As the bunnies steal from this berry bush again. That was the one that had me suspicious in the last episode. I'm really curious to see if it's just a bunny, or if it might actually be a wanderer stealing our food. Maybe it's even somebody trying to learn the ways of our tribe and paint some beautiful markings. That's something that I'm sure Litsy is going to ask her big sister about. Litsy is now the only creature in our tribe who doesn't have a single marking to her name. She was the baby who was stifled by Takir, with all that mud rubbed all over her fur. So she doesn't have the same gift as the rest of our babies, and it probably makes her feel quite left out. I'm hoping that she'll be able to cross paths with Rohan too, so she can have her own special markings. But for now, we should be ready to skip the day. And I still don't see any sign of that rogue male, so he must be staying right next to that healing fruit. I guess he just doesn't want anybody to steal it. It was probably a very, very important part of his tribe after all. If that was our tribe, we would guard it with our lives too. Maybe it's even all that he has left to remember his family by, so that's why he wants to keep it so safe. But after we make sure that there's no danger out here, and no wanderers for us to invite either, maybe we should start moving Aqualoo and Adrian across the stream. Hopefully this will be far enough away that we won't draw anybody's attention. But I suppose with their swimming tails, they might be able to get through this water a bit faster than the tall grass. But that's only if we can find somebody to light up the way for them, because as it is right now, they are definitely struggling. So jump on in here, Adrian. Make sure that the water is fine. And so far, so good. It doesn't look like you're taking any drowning damage, so we don't have to worry about Adrian losing her focus. We'll jump up here and then back to solid dry land, so you can sniff around for us. Make sure that nothing is lurking. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that the rogue male is probably just splashing around in his own tide pools. I wonder if he would even get hit on the head with the coconuts. That would be pretty interesting. We did trap the hyenas by the coconut trees before, and stunning the rogue males would be super helpful too. Well, as long as Rohan can get to you, he should be able to keep you safe as well. We'll have him make his way around all of those cactus plants, following the bunnies as they trail toward the streams. He's not even strong enough to take the bunnies down, so it's kind of fitting that he is so friendly toward them. I guess any follower of Takir would be. Though Kaz is a different story. He has never been friendly toward the bunnies, but he does still love to paint. And he does love to push the limits, push the boundaries with those poison berries. So let's go ahead and have him grab a couple more as the babies are watching. Do you think that maybe Navi would find him to be very brave? Maybe she would be impressed by his efforts, and she would want to help out too. Ramiko probably wouldn't even notice, since she has so many little babies to look after now. Kovu has his very first gem, and we have a brand new sister in the nest too, with some different immunity genes as well. That's good to see. I've noticed that most of our creatures tend to have A somewhere in their genetics, so pretty soon we might have to risk some sick babies. We don't exactly have very many healthy pairings to work with. But she is super cute. She looks just like her brother. Oh, and she does have the pattern shape bee? Ooh, interesting. The spots aren't quite as uniform as her siblings. Her mother, of course, has those perfectly round spots, and her brother has those kind of hexagon shapes. And these are just like little smears or splatters. A nice abstract painting from Takir. The next name on my list is Pudding, so welcome to our tribe, little one. A very fitting name for you, I think. It's good to see that she has those double velvet paws, because that should help her collect food for her family. It's a little bit more helpful than the no paws that her two siblings are carrying, but I'm sure that Navi is still going to be able to pick up her fair share of poison berries. Let's bring her right down here. That way she could even help light up the way for Hare, and she can help guard the other berry bushes that her tribe has left behind. We'll bring Hare straight up here to pounce on this bunny for us. I guess he might as well pick up this meat too. Unless we'll have him leave it behind for Navi instead. That way he can jump all the way up to the swamplands and meet up with his brother again. He would probably dump all of those bunnies right at his feet, laughing mightily for his victories. But Kaz has all but forgotten the feud. He's been so wrapped up in keeping Rumiko happy and painting his murals of her beautiful family that he kind of forgot he was mad at his brother to begin with. He does seem like a very forgetful, if not eccentric sort, so I don't think that the feud even matters to him anymore. And Hare's probably so heartbroken. Here he thought that he was going to prove his brother wrong, and he literally could care less. Poor Hare has had a lot of trouble sticking with the tribe ever since he took care of the Berryinas. Not too many of his tribe mates appreciate his big-headed personality, and it's only really pushed his family away. So I think he's starting to realize that he just doesn't fit in with anybody here. He's not a painter like his brother, he's not good at collecting berries at all, and if there aren't any Berryinas to defend the tribe from, then what is he even good for? I almost wonder if he would get along well with Litzy when she shows up at our tribe's door. She also feels very out of place here, so maybe those two can find some common ground. For now, we'll have her continue after the roots. I guess that's kind of what's going to lead her straight to them. It looks like they have plenty of roots to gather up. Plenty of roots to dig up right around the rock as well, almost as if that's a good place for them to bury Odin. Let's have her scoot her way around the shore, straight up to this root right next to the berry bush, and Kimmy Lynn will claw her way in her shadow. It must be that lean body that makes her so quick. She's small, but she sure is hard for her big sister to keep up with. So that means we should be ready to skip the turn again? Oh my goodness. And has one of Takir's guides come over to you, Aqualoo? It's almost as if Takir himself is trying to bring these two creatures together. A love story crafted by our very patterned painter. I wonder if perhaps he has something special in mind for them? Well, let's bring Adrian out of the water. That should light up the way for you to stumble straight to Rohan's side. And with all of this divine intervention at play, it must be love at first sight for these two. So let's make sure that we can set up their mutation menus for Takir's newest art project. Takir has rolled a 8 and a 4, which is both black fur, and it's also the yellow fur. So I guess Takir wants to paint some little bumblebee babies. At the very least, it'll ensure that Rohan's babies will all be super unique, because they could basically inherit like any type of fur. And as for Aqualoo, she has rolled a 5 and an 18. That's the red fur, and that's the tiny pattern as well. Tiny, itty-bitty little dots to go on our rainbow babies. She does have the mask in her genetics, so there is the possibility that we could still see Rohan's beautiful mask, and he's carrying the stripes too. I don't think we've seen the stripes on any of our BBs yet, so maybe this will finally be our chance. But go ahead and breed with Aqualoo, and then I guess we should probably have her set up her nest somewhere around here. She's getting so close to the end of her lifespan, this is going to be her only chance to start a family. We could have Rohan skitter on over here. Maybe she would prefer to settle down by the water side. Oh, right next to the berries. Oh, that is perfect. This must be what the bunnies were leading you toward? Well, thank you, little guy. We're gonna have to have Rohan set up over here, though. Not only could he dip his tail into the water for some fish, but he's going to make sure that he collects those paints for himself. Oh, and Adrian, I know you love to explore, but I hate to see you left all on your own. Well, won't she be surprised to find that Aqualoo has started her own family when she finally reunites in the next turn? And that actually brings her very close to the oak tree that they wanted to go to. So I guess you're right around the corner from that too. We'll have Adrian be the one to settle her feet beneath the oak tree first. We just have to hope the rogue male hasn't been following the shore in this direction. Hopefully he's still sticking next to his palm trees and his healing fruit. Ooh, Litzy, you're all grown up now? Excellent, so you can pick up this root for us. We can maybe even bring you over here to pick up this meat too. I'm sure that Navi would appreciate it because she's going to be a little bit distracted with these poison berries. I don't think she even realizes how tough these are to gather and how much damage they're going to do on her too. But she's not going to give up. She wants to impress the great painter Kaz and bring him something special to work with. So as Kaz gathers some of the last berries that he'll need to finish off the mural of all these babies, including little Pudding next, so it's a good thing he found some normal berry bushes to use for her fur. We'll have Hare start slinking sullenly off into the grasses again, unsure what he can do to provide for his tribe anymore. I'd imagine that all of those markings that Grandma Anna painted on his ram horns are probably starting to fade away too. It has been a long, long time since they were last painted. He probably just looks like a shell of himself now, all worn and withered. But at least he's just about to cross paths with Litzy. And I hope these two can find a bit of comfort in each other as the outcasts of Takir's tribe. Now, if Kovu is going to be just like his father and do some scouting for the tribe, we'll probably want him to start making his way into the grasses now. We might as well have him try to follow after Rohan. He remembers seeing him slink off this way somewhere. Oh my goodness. And the bunnies are even in the nest with you, Aqualoo? That is too adorable. We don't even have any berries left on this bush. So it's pretty surprising that it's chosen right here to cozy up with you. Gotta love our little shipper bunnies. Maybe they can make some love connections for other members of the tribe too. Let's have Kaz settle down right here to watch after the baby for now, and we'll bring Ramiko into the grasses again, sniffing around all the way to search for some more berries for her kids. She could probably return to their old base, the one where so many of our tribe mates fled to when the berry hyenas were after us. We do have some shriveled up berry bushes back here that we could definitely pick up from, but we'll have to make sure that we get to them before the bunnies do this time. So that should be the end of our turns again. Let's go straight over to Aqualoo, and we'll see what Takir had in mind when he brought these two together. Oh my goodness. Wait a second. Not only do we have a pretty interesting little tiger baby in here, but Finalizing has actually brought us the reins. Oh my gosh, how long has it been since we had a good harvest like this? I wonder if it has anything to do with Litzy? You know, she's probably hoping that this rain is going to wash away all of that mud. Maybe it'll finally reveal her true markings. But while the rain will wash away the fake paint, she's going to find herself unchanged. So maybe as Kimmy Lynn comes over to pick up the berries, swiping them up before the bunnies? Oh my gosh. Oh no, the rogue male found you after all? I don't think this is the same rogue male though. Oh, it must have been a different one that spawned. Oh, Adrian, talk about a shock. No wonder she was just keeping to herself. She had a little secret love that she was communicating with. Well, I guess we're going to have to deal with you in a moment then. We'll have to figure out if we're going to set up her mutation menu, or if we're just going to leave that baby as is. It's not as though Takir has any influence over the rogue males. But now that all of those berries are gone, we'll have Litzy race past Hare. Oh? Surprise after surprise! We even have a wanderer stealing our food too? And what's better, she has the scorpion tail, so she would actually be able to pick from those poison berries without fear. You know who would like to see that? Definitely Kaz. He would be so impressed with her. I wonder if they could even start a family together. She has D and G, and he has G and E. Oh, of all of the times for them to be sharing an immunity gene. Well, we definitely still want her to join our tribe because she could give us some very interesting babies. She has the bird beak interactive traits, the female peacock tail. She is carrying some flaws that we'll want to keep an eye on, But for our creatively fueled tribe, she is a great addition. I'm just not sure that Litzy would be the one to invite her. She was probably trying to push her way straight to the shores to find a place to hide, and in fact she's probably scared the daylights out of this poor baby. Maybe we should bring Navi over to invite her instead. We'll have Litzy continue our way to the shores. And she's coming right over to say hello to Navi. Maybe we won't have to move Navi at all if we bring her over to Litzy's side. Yes, excellent. You must be very curious about those poison berries. So let's have Navi offer up some of the food that she gathered. I guess she's probably offering up the poison berries themselves, since that's what she picked last. Cease is probably just shaking her head too. You do know that you're using those the wrong way, right? You're supposed to pick them like this, and then it doesn't even hurt you at all. Now, if Navi was amazed by Kaz's bravery, imagine what she must be thinking of Cease right now. I thought she was starting to develop eyes for you, Kaz, but now I'm starting to have my doubts. Well, let's have Pudding go ahead and take on her second gem so she can scoop up plenty of these berries. I'm sure her mother would be very proud. And then as we move Kaz over to his rock again, we'll have him scoop up all of these. He is not going to let any pesky bunnies steal his harvest. So your rogue male friend is still lingering around your territory, huh, Adrian? Maybe you could lead him over this way, straight over to that tree, so he won't bother the new family between Aqualoo and Rohan. Let's finally take a look at this little cheetah. Oh my gosh, how cute is he? Still the same dots, but unlike anything our tribe has ever seen before. I guess he marks a brand new branch in the family tree. So the next name on my list is Loki. Welcome to the tribe, little one. And then I guess we'd best see if we can have another baby between them. After all, Loki was fortunate enough to actually inherit the purse snout in his inactive traits, just like Rohan is carrying. So maybe we could actually see that pop up on our babies soon. That would be pretty special. We'll scoot Aqualoo over to this side and have Rohan breed with her again, and then she should be able to set up her second nest right on the other side of the berry bush. That does mean that we won't have enough nesting material for you to build your own nest, but I suppose you're probably going to look for a place with your new love anyways. She probably figures that nobody would accept him in the tribe, so she doesn't want to bring him back home. That would only bring ruin to him, unfortunately, so she knows he needs to steer clear. I guess we'd better make sure that Ramiko doesn't get too far away from her tribe then. We will still have her pick up all of these berries, but otherwise it's going to be up to Kovu to make sure that he's not getting too close. As long as he can make his way past all of these berry bushes, there's a little bit more of a roadblock than I thought there was over here, Kovu. Maybe you're not so much like your father after all. Kovu gets a little bit more confused with directions. I'm sure all he really needs is some practice, and him standing guard by the rocks will ensure that nobody will get through that area anyways. So Rohan, go ahead and clear out this space for all of your babies to play. They're going to need plenty of room after all, because they'll have some painting practice to do soon. Since this rain does mean that all of their markings have washed away, as soon as Rohan returns, he is going to have a lot of work ahead of him. I wonder if that would even wash away the mural that Cash just painted. Oh, he is probably heartbroken. All of that work straight down the drain. That's probably why he's not too fond of Takir. But let's have Litzy go ahead and dig up this root right underneath Hera's feet. Maybe she didn't even realize that he'd been following. But he's a bit worried about you, and aside from that, he knows exactly how it feels to be so alone. So he wants to help you if he can. So one more time, we'll go ahead and skip the day, and we'll see what Aqualoo's very final baby is going to look like. Unfortunately, she will be passing away on this turn too, but hopefully he'll be just as special as his big brother Loki. He looks completely different, which is exactly what I was hoping for, and he even has his father's big nose too. He is having trouble with his eyesight, but we knew that was going to happen, so at least he can smell very deep into that tall grass. He should be able to sense any danger for us, to make sure that nothing is barreling in our direction. And so far it looks like everything is calm again, especially now that the rains have ended. But I like to see that he inherited his mother's dusty spots, so a little bit of her line is going to live on in him too. He even has the ram horns, which only Hare had until now, so unlike the rest of his family, he might actually take interest in hunting the bunnies. I wonder what Rohan is going to think of that. The next name on my list is Apex, so welcome to our tribe, little one. I can't wait to see how his story is going to unfold, and I can't wait to see how Adrian's family is going to fare too. It looks like her rogue male love may have skittered off for the time being, but he's probably looking for a safe place for her to be, so as we grab the last of our berries here, we'll have to figure out which way she's going to go. I still think toward the oak tree would probably be best. It offers shelter, it offers food, and it is far enough away from the tribe that nobody will ever know her big secret. We should have figured that our wild mushroom would be the one to settle down far outside the reaches of our tribe. But if Takir can't bless her babies, then I hope at the very least they're going to be healthy and strong. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!